Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to our coverage of the 2 Power 4 Balance tournament. I'm Karaslegacy as we dig into another best of 3 series here. We have in the north side, we have Marvin, and we have Harkin, representing Team TooSlow.
Civilian structure
and in the south side, we have Galax Enter, and we have Ignaz, representing Team The Singer. We got Transtav on the board today, which is a nice longer map. Tends to be a little bit more eco-focused than some of our other maps. And we're hoping for an exciting game today as we dig in. Once again, for those of you who are still tuning in to this tournament, might have not seen any coverage until the last one. There has been a lot of patch updates and changes since 2 overall. You'll see a lot of more focused on smaller ships, a lot more economic differences, and a lot of new planet types. One of the things to note, actually, on this planet, on this map we're going to dig in here, is this Hive asteroid over here. The Hive asteroid planets tend to be an exceptionally strong planet type. They tend to have a lot of military ops, they could get a lot of high population, so they can get a good economy going. These tend to be excellent early game planets, and this might be a big contestation point in the mid game. We'll have to see. All right, so TooSlow is starting off with their typical double TEC opener. In previous games, we've seen them kind of often do a trade-focused opener, starting with economy. We'll see if that holds in this game as well. The team has been bitten a few times by these kind of greedy openers, so I'll be curious if they try to keep that up or if they decide to adjust a bit in this game. So let's start digging in and see where the teams are at. All right, we see Harkon, and it looks like Harkon is going for just some basic Civ military opener, nothing crazy. We're going to speed things up a little bit so we can kind of see how they're working here. Harkon starting with a coal opener. That's been pretty typical of TooSlow. Not a very popular meta opener for sure. Most TECs nowadays open with either the Mazda or sometimes you see the Sova as a fast expanding opener. But the Mazda is generally considered the best scaling TEC capital and often the standard play. Yeah, we do see Marvin opening up with the Mazda over here, and just basic expansion. Yeah, so far just basic text, basic expansion, nothing crazy to report yet. Looking over at south side, their south side opponents over here. All right, we do see Ignaz opening up. Okay, fast Civ 2 tier 2 with modular architecture. This might be a trade opener, or it might be just using it for econ on other building types. We do have a Mazda opener here. Yep, Mazda with basically no cobalts. This is interesting. Literally, Ignaz is opened with just the Mazda. Looks like we do not have a single other ship produced. So that's a very lean opener. That's one I have not seen very often. We'll have to see how that works out for them.
Scouts have found a colonizable
Their partner, we'll say with Galax here.
Civilian structure complete.
Galax has also gotten an early Devastator. And we're seeing the typical 3 capital openers from Visari.
Our fleet has engaged the enemy.
But we're actually seeing. Oh, I said typical, but actually this is the alternate form of the 3 capital opener. We see the Marauder and the Devastator. So these are the other 2 capital ships Visari can often open with. Tends to be the lesser common opening we see nowadays, but still pretty popular.
Empire research complete.
And looks like pretty typical tech openings here. So nothing. Looks like everybody's just doing basic expansions. Nothing too crazy to report yet. Harkin is now pushing into Civ tier 2 himself. We do not yet see the modular architecture, so we might, and no trade. So it does look like they're updating their orders a bit. We are seeing a slight change to the structure on this map.
Scouts have found a colonizable planet.
But yeah, just greeting up, expanding.
Civilian research complete.
Marvin, on the other hand, is actually pushing more military and looks to be opening with Caleb's and Shinko,
Our fleet is
which
under
can be
attack.
pretty effective against the Visari, especially, helping to
Military
deal with
research
that
here complete.
heavy
A new
capital
colony has
ship
been founded.
early type presence. It does often, the TC often struggles to get enough Caleb's to be effective, but considering the rush distance on this map and how long it's going to take, it's possible Marvin might be able to build up a pretty sizable Caleb force before encountering his Visari opponent.
All right, you twisted me arm.
Exotic resources
All right,
have been
both sides are
located by our survey
expanding
teams.
pretty readily here. I would say the Singers are, yeah, both sides are fairly equal. Looks like the Visari Galax has got a little bit of an edge on the expansion speed, which actually for Visari is sometimes atypical, so it's pretty good by them. One thing we'll need to watch as we kind of move into the middle here is the pirates. The pirates can often be a big factor in some of these early skirmishes, kind of right around the center areas here. This kind of region can often be hotly contested, and the pirates can be a big factor in that. Now, I'll be curious to see if Galax down here decides to kind of push really aggressively into the Hive asteroid, try to secure that, because again, this could be a very nice resource source early on if you're able to secure it.
Planet item
We do see the pirates already starting to kind of push in and patrol this area, so Marvin might struggle a bit to kind of control and gain access to this spot. On the other hand, if you do secure it, the pirates can be an excellent source of experience early on. And for a Marsda player, being able to kind of feed experience from the pirates, get closer to that level 6 ultimate, which is often considered one of the strongest in the game, that can be a great opening move for the TEC. All right, the two players are starting to kind of push towards each other.
Logistics upgrade
We
complete.
still see from Marvin here. All right, we do see some Hashenkos. Looks like they may be coming online. We are starting to see the Caleb's, a good selection of Cobalts, some Caleb's, and it looks like it's going to continue a Caleb and then some Hashenko
Scouts have
forces.
found a colonizable planet.
Ark, on the other hand, is going a little slower. We have added a Marsda to his regiment, and we're bringing in some Gardaflax to add in some anti-missile capabilities there. As they're playing the Enclave, they're bringing their garrisons online, and one of the things we might see is a garrison fortification in the center here. That can be very effective around all these little asteroid planets that you see here.
Exotic resources have been located by our survey teams. Exotic resources have been located by our survey teams. Exotic resources
Just doing
have
a
been
quick
located
check
by
on
our
the
survey
logistics
teams.
here.
Military research complete.
Yep, looks like nothing fancy here. Basic logistics. Nothing too crazy to report. And let's take one more look at Marvin's logistics over here just to see if anything surprising. Nope, pretty typical. Nothing aggressive on production.
Our
Just
fleet is under attack.
kind of basic production and expansion. All right, we are seeing the first real signs of aggression here. Looks like the Visari has not only pushed the Hive asteroid, but they are actually now pushing north, potentially to
Our
contest
fleet is under attack.
Marvin's notes here. Marvin, unfortunately, is now stuck dealing with pirates,
complete. We've lost contact with one of
which
our
looks like it has, in fact, taken out one of his asteroids. And that's going to tie him up, giving the Visari a chance to not only clean this up, but potentially take out this very nice derelict. Lots of experience, lots of exotics. This is a hell of a spot to take
A
early.
new colony has been founded.
And right now, I don't know if Marvin's going to be able to contest this. Let's pop over to Galax. Galax is about 260 fleet supplies, so nothing too crazy. Maintaining the three capital ship opener, and pretty much just relying on pirates to absorb a few other ships into the fleet. But it looks like it's really going to be the capital. It's going to be the bulk of their force here. The 3 Visari capitals sometimes is all you need to get the job done. Meanwhile, going over to Ignaz. Ignaz is actually pushing very aggressively into Tier 3. We do see some Tier techs online. We're seeing Tier 3 become operational.
Military research complete.
In terms of logistics,
Shields are down. I won't last long out
we
here.
actually see a little bit of culture added, and we are seeing quite an aggressive
complete.
trade. Actually, a very, very strong trade opener from Ignaz here. So Ignaz is pushing very greedy here. We'll see how that works out. All right, Galax is looking at a tier, just a double T2 on both sides for the Vasari.
Place your bids, you scallywags.
We are seeing a lot of extractors online. Beyond that, starting to get some nanofactories produced. But again, nothing. We do have a lot of the intercultural exchanges getting a lot of those credits and culture online. So again, fairly economic opener for Galax as well. All right, looks like the two sides are starting to kind of draw the lines. And yeah, we are starting to see some production and fortifications here. Marvin's continuing to build a fleet of Caleb's Kobolds. Still on the one Dreadnought, one Mars alone. And building up a pretty decent fleet with, I'd say, a solid amount of defenses. This is going to be a decent spot to hold.
Military structure complete.
Yeah, Galax seems to be quite comfortable just kind of building up economy, fortifying here. We are starting to see the foundational defenses. So it looks like both sides on this line are just kind of fortifying against each other. On the left side, we do see Ignaz is a little bit behind the ball, but looks like we'll be able to kind of secure this area. Now, this is one kind of mistake that Ignaz is making. It looks like it's correcting now. Whenever you're dealing with these kind of neutrals, always make sure you're pushing your capital ship into the center circle. One, obviously you want to capture the derelict, but two, this helps draw a lot of the enemy fire onto the capital, and that way protects your smaller ships, which can actually die from this fire. The capital ship should be fine. Should be able to take on this with little problems.
Military research complete. Military structure complete.
Okay, so we are seeing Ignaz is pushing into that tier 3, and it looks like that is for huge cargo holds. So it makes sense. Ignaz, again, has gone a very powerful eco order. Now trying to fully capitalize on that, utilizing the tier 3 tech. Now, interesting, this asteroid remains unclaimed. I'm actually pretty surprised by that. I thought Harkin would have pushed into this spot by now. Harkin looks like they're just comfortable to kind of get their production facilities and basic defenses here. But it's kind of left that one asteroid pretty much undefended. We do see a third capital ship, the Dunov, is online. A good solid mixture of Cobalts and just a little bit of flak to help against certain missile barrages. So it looks like TooSlow has kind of opted to fortify these middle two asteroids. This gives them a nice fortification point because if either side is attacked, they have immediate one-jump assistance on their ally. So this is going to allow them to kind of pretty much protect each other. Also, this defensive line will be good to absorb a lot of the pirate attacks that are going to come this way. Again, feeding experience to Marvin and giving them an excellent chance to kind of build up that Mars deployment. All right, we do see Ignaz finally moving in to take this asteroid. And we do have scouts here from Harkin, so we'll see if that prompts a response. Or if Ignaz will be able to take this with little issue. Now, we do see the pirates going to retaliate. And this might be a problem. Ignaz has not got any kind of real solid defense here. Pirates are going to start going ham on the trade ships and then, yes, on the plane itself. We do see Ignaz going into the exotic refineries. So I would say between all four here, Ignaz is definitely scaling the strongest here. Has the most trade, is now getting exotics online, tons of trade. So the ball is really on the court of TooSlow at this point. They're going to be the ones that really need to push in. They're going to really need to contest this because right now, our Vasari Galax has the Hive asteroid, giving them a ton of basic resources. Ignaz has got the trade, giving them a ton of
Military
resources from
structure
that.
complete.
And so yeah, if left to their own devices, they're simply going to outscale their opponents.
Military
So we'll see how
structure
TooSlow
complete.
responds to this if
Civilian
we do start to
research
see any kind of
complete.
forward push.
Mining
We are
upgrade
seeing a pretty
complete.
aggressive
Civilian
use of
structure
garrisons here to
complete.
kind of
Military
build in
research
again. This
complete.
entire little
Civilian
regiment area is
structure
getting
complete.
well fortified by these
It
areas.
made a fine purchase.
But at the end of the day, I don't know if the Singers really care.
Done and dusted.
Again, they're just seem
Military
happy enough to
research
just kind of
complete.
sit back and let the
Civilian
recons
structure
build up here.
complete.
We are now seeing Naz pushing into tier 3, and their partner is also now moving into tier 3 techs across the board. We are seeing Conrax come online, and the Visaris pretty much bloomed into a second Devastator, and then a large variety of defensors. Seems to be kind of the play right now. We are seeing oppressors finally coming online.
Structure complete.
We'll see if that if they do a hard shift to that, or if that's just going to be a sprinkle of oppressors to kind of add into their fleet. Generally, once we get into this mid-game area, the tier 3 units really start overshadowing your tier 1, tier 2s. Things like your oppressors, your Parka, your Javelus. These units tend to really outshine those basic tier 1 units. So once those are starting to get massed, the masses of those previous units really starts to fade away in effectiveness.
Exploratory nanites have found exotic resources. Survey nanites have discovered an unforeseen advantage.
All right, taking a look at top with TooSlow. Marvin is finally kicking into, looks like, at least getting ready to go tier 3. But Marvin's a bit behind the ball here. This could be a problem if we see any fights here in the near future. That said, Marvin's got a pretty solid fleet supply, a very large amount of Calebs here. I actually think this is a very nice amount to contest the capital ships of Galax. With about near 100 fleet supply over and such a heavy composition of anti-capital ships, I actually think Marvin's got a really good force against Galax. Galax is posturing for a possible push here, but I think that's a mistake. I think Marvin's got I think he's got the right comp, he's got the defenses, and he's got the fleet supply. Not to mention he's got his partner right behind him. But we might see a pincher move here. Ignaz has also positioned his ships into the left side here. We might see a pincher move where the two try to invade together. Or we'll see if they just kind of hold off. Again, I think the ball is really in TooSlow's court. Again, the economy-wise, they're the ones that really need to start pressuring us.
Logistics upgrade complete.
All right, we do see Harkon. Harkon is doing a move here into the neutrals. I'm curious if they're going to try to actually bypass this main asteroid and kind of move to the side. Let's see what's happening here. Okay, looks like Harkon's just kind of taking a look,
Civilian structure
patrolling the area, and then going to move on back. Yeah, looks like the two sides are just kind of posturing around each other. We do see Marvin also picking up exotics at this point. So we may see a big push into exotics here momentarily. Harkon's maintained a pretty good fleet supply. We are seeing, kind of a heavy use of stillets now, actually kind of pushing into that. I would say at this point in the game, stillets start to really become questionable. Corvettes don't tend to last in these larger fleet supply engagements. And, we've already seen a defensor commitment over here from Galax. So I think that composition might be a bit of a mistake. But we'll see what happens here. Meanwhile, Galax has started to really boom. That eco is really starting to take off. We are seeing a push all the way into it looks like tier 4 is about to come online shortly.
Military structure complete.
We're getting all the good eco techs here. And we do have star-based technology under the way. So that will likely lock down this hive asteroid pretty solidly at this point in the game. Ignaz continues to scale the trade. Huge trade investment from Ignaz, pretty much covering all the main resource bases. All the good eco techs are being taken here. and just a steady buildup. But no Harkas yet. Ignaz's fleet supply is starting to fall behind a bit. A bit as follows. He's also got a pretty heavy Caleb investment, but nothing really supporting it. No heavy tier 3 ships, limited capital. So Ignaz is, I'd say, of the four, is kind of the weak spot right now.
Let the bidding commence.
This is the vulnerable position. We'll see if TooSlow decides to push this in or again to hold off. I'm gonna speed us up just a touch as we're kind of in this build-up lull aspect of the game.
He's made a fine purchase. No refunds.
No bid.
Looking at Marvin's logistics and production structures here. Okay, we do see a heavy investment into Light Factory. Again, some trade, but nothing really to write home about. Pushing into about 900 fleet supply and just maintaining 3-3 tech. Archon looks like finally committing to some military technologies. We are seeing, looks like the star-based techs will also be coming online here soon. Likely to lock down again. Looks like everybody's trying to kind of lock down these center planets here.
Defense upgrade complete.
And yeah, decent exotic factories, tons of trade.
Military research complete. Military structure complete.
So yeah, Archon's kind of pretty nice balanced approach here going on. Oh, apologies. It looks like we do have a battle finally taking place over here. So let's slow it down a touch and see what we've got. Looks like Ignaz is built up a siege fleet to start trying to snipe out various worlds. Meanwhile, we've got a large raider contingent from Galax here, just kind of going in the back pocket, taking out a lot of this trade. A lot of these back pocket resources. It's an excellent way to kind of start softening up the opponent.
Structure complete.
And I think the goal here is for the Singers to kind of try to pull TooSlow out of the center where they're fortified. See if they can pull them back into the more vulnerable areas to give them a chance to kind of utilize their advantage. But I don't think they're falling for it. I think they're going to maintain their kind of center position. Use some of these garrisons here to, yeah, with this large garrison contingent, I don't think these siege ships are going to have much success bursting into this planet. What's Ignaz up to now? He's got, what, about 15 siege frigates? That's pretty good. All right, now these siege frigates are going uncontested. These Stillets have not really engaged, so there's a good chance Ignaz is going to be able to bypass this planet and continue to push even deeper. Could we see a kind of a full Fury Certicide play into the home world? That might be a little bit optimistic. Okay, we finally do have some of the Stillets engaging here. The Stillets are going to do a lot of damage to these siege craft, so we might be able to get at least a handful of these guys picked off before they work out. Nope, I was wrong. Karaslegacy are pretty tanky. They took that quite well. All right. All the other forces are kind of fortifying, remaining in the middle. So it looks like all the action's kind of continuing on the far side. All right, we do have a new siege here as Vangelis is under siege assault. We've got, what, 9 Cobalts, handful of Stillets versus about 8 Karaslegacy. Likely this asteroid's going to go down, but I think that'll pretty much clean up these siege craft along with it. But we'll see. Yeah, I mean, this asteroid's not very developed. It's not... losing this wouldn't be the end of the world. But Ignaz has got resources to spare with all that trade. All right, we're at half strength, and only 4 craft left as the planet goes to half strength. So actually, they might be able to hold this. Actually, I think they will. It looks like. Yep, I think Archon's going to be able to hold this. Let's take a look back in the middle. Yep, continuing to posture here. Just checking to see if we're getting any. We do have an Orculus, finally built by Galax here, in this world. So yeah, this hive asteroid is super locked down. And this guy's great. I mean, this guy produces all sorts of good stuff. So Galaxy is going to be pretty happy, I think, just quite frankly, just holding on to that. All right, as the game goes into the hour mark, the two teams are posturing, fortifying. And we do see the continuation of Galaxy doing these raids, trying to soften things up, trying to kind of limit the trade, grab some resources when possible, and just keep Team TooSlow kind of off balance here. If we take a look at the incomes, I'm actually just kind of going to take a look here. Yeah, we have 112 credits for Ignaz.
Times of war are upon
Yeah, 57 for Marvin.
Item complete, Commander.
And 65 for Harkon. So we can see the difference. Ignaz is just, his trade is out of control. It's completely outscaling. In fact, Ignaz basically has the credit income of both of his opponents combined here. And this is a good example of getting too much in your comfort zone. Even though Team TooSlow has an excellent position here. I mean, this is a well-fortified position. They have a good fleet supply. They've got an excellent comp. What they're failing to recognize is the greed of their opponents. Their opponents have gotten these juicy worlds. They've got a ton of trade. And with that focus, unless they get aggressive and they start actually contesting some of these areas, they're simply going to get it. They're simply going to get outscaled.
I shall stand with you.
The Singers are playing this right. The Singers are content to just kind of make some pokes, hit some areas, kind of keep things going, keep things light, because they know the longer the game goes, the more it falls into their hands. All right, so let's see. Ignaz is finally getting a few other key military techs online, including Savage Thrill. It's always a big, important tech for the primacy. Other techs seem pretty normal. We do have Javelus and Harka unlocked. So we've got all the core tier 3s now ready to go. We do have backup shield generator as well, which is always a great tech. But still missing a couple key ones here, like the ferric plating.
Military research complete. Military research complete.
Let the bidding
Galax has made it all the way to tier 4 on both sides, getting some of those highest end economic techs. And yeah, just content to hit that 1,500 fleet supply. We see, it looks like, oh, and now the Titan is finally coming online.
Military structure
So
complete.
Galax is moving towards his Titan.
A powerful artifact has been found.
Ignaz is continuing to build up some capitals, and now we see a heavy commitment from Ignaz into tier 3 tech, or to tier 3 ships. The Hark and Javelus numbers are starting to scale. And with that massive economy, Ignaz is going to be able to balloon his fleet supply here very quickly.
Mining upgrade complete.
In terms of the counter, Marvin does have a good fleet supply. Very heavy Caleb investment. So the problem is going to be, earlier in the game, this Caleb number was extremely impressive, extremely oppressive.
One of our enemies has
But now that we're seeing the commitment into tier 3, this large push, especially of these Harka. The Harka are a natural counter to the Caleb. I know sometimes the way the Caleb looks, people might think, well, it's designed to do heavy damage, and therefore is a good counter to things like Harka that are high damage, high armor ships. But that's not really true. Harka are far more efficient at killing Caleb than Caleb are killing Harka. Now, don't get me wrong. A group of Calebs can absolutely do the job against a smaller contingent of Harka. But once the Harka numbers start to build up and they're able to start sniping Calebs quickly, that comp quickly shifts into a Harka favored matchup.
Civilian structure complete. Logistics upgrade complete.
So an interesting turn here. Ignaz's fleet has actually been isolated by the planet rotation. This is an interesting shift. We are going to slow things down and take a look. Ignaz is trying to escape, realizing that his plan has been completely cut off, and he is having to push into enemy space now in order to survive. But it looks like Harkon is is joined as well, but Galax is also joined in the center here. We now have a full scale battle on our hands. I'm going to slow things down so we can kind of take a look. But at the end of the day, the Kolto is going to be the center linchpin of this entire engagement. Taking a quick look here at the fleet supplies. Yeah, it looks like Harkon is seriously lacking in fleet supply on this Endeavor. And with a heavy note of the oppressors here and the Titan, I don't think that TooSlow is going to have a chance in this one. Oh my god, and there it is. Ignaz busts out the massive missile barrage. He's going to clean house into the center here. Going to strip out all of those center ships. And yeah, other than this large contingent of Caleb, which are doing a decent job taking out a few capitals, they are not going to have the firepower to take out this Kolto. Especially once this Kolto starts stunning. And here we go. We have the Nano Leech online. The Nano Leech is now starting to stun the massive force here. Heal up. And yeah, we can see the oppressors now going into the Calebs. They are going to just rip through this Caleb fleet.
Done and dusted.
And while the Calebs might do some damage against this Kolto, Kolto is going to be able to easily heal up with the Nano Leech. And is really no threat from this kind of number of Caleb. Not with the Harka support. Basically, TooSlow's got to get out of here. This battle is going completely out of their favor. They're not even really pushing on their defenses. If the battle was more towards the center where some of these defenses could kick in, that might give an edge to TooSlow and give them a chance to kind of counter this. But right now, they're just completely outscaled in fleet combat. All right, more Nano Leeches come out. And basically, Galax is practically just taking on this entire fleet by themselves. Ignaz is happy to join in with a few cursory forces here, but Harkon's got a few capital ships here that are doing okay, but yeah, against as many pressers and a Titan, they're just going to start falling away. And yeah, the TooSlow is just taking this battle in full, and I think this one massive battle may be our last. I have a feeling we may get a GG on this one pretty much any moment.
An allied capital ship has been destroyed.
Yep.
An allied capital ship.
The Singers are just kind of completing their cleanup of the forces here. And then taking a quick look here. You know, Marvin's dropped to what, 700 fleet supply. Harken to 300. And with limited trade.
Complete.
I think that may be all she wrote.
The strength of the coalition.
There's just nothing really to contest the economy nor the military power of this Titan. We're going to speed things up again. Kind of see the cleanup of this world. And yeah, with that, there's the GG. And team the Singers take this game and take this game. So excellent game played by them. One battle to rule them all, as they say. So I hope you enjoyed this cast. My name is Karaslegacy, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.